Get in. Here he is, the injured one. So,
Excuse me?
we're going to talk about injuries today. So, perfect example we've got today. He's going to take the lead on this one. Working around injuries, you know, a lot of us pick up injuries and it's annoying. Touch wood for me, I'm quite lucky because, you know, I've never really picked up a serious injury, so I'm not going to be able to give my experience too much on this one. But you know, there are ways to work around your injuries, changing your exercise selection up and doing the best you can. So Joe's going to go into this one in more depth.
Yeah. So training around injuries and still making progress. Now this is something I've had a lot of experience with, sort of in the past and recently, but the last 7 weeks of my training have probably been the most productive 7 weeks probably for a while, and I've had a few niggles I've had to work around and just be a lot more flexible with my exercise selection, like Simon said. So two sort of options. You've either got an injury that basically restricts you doing any sort of movement. So say for example, your shoulder, you've got a rotary cuff sort of injury and you can't do sort of any benching or pressing, shoulder pressing. So say like upper body movements are out. So the option you have is, you basically say, right, I can't really do my upper body, so you take all your upper body training volume and you put that down towards your lower body. So you basically use that time to hammer your lower body with training volume because you've basically got more sort of sets to play with. So you've basically taken all sort of your training volume for your upper body and taken it down to your lower body. So that's one option if you can't literally do the move. Same with lower body, like if you've got a knee injury, use that time as an excuse to say, right, I can't do lower body, so I'm going to smash my upper body. And that's stuff that I did. So during when I had my rotary cuff sort of strain last year, I used that time just to train lower body and really sort of bring up sort of areas of my lower body. Other option is when you have like these little niggles. So, you know, where you can feel it in a specific lift, for example. So for example, for me, it's normally flat barbell bench pressing, where I normally feel like the rotary cuff, because I've had a lot of rotary cuff issues, and that normally plays me up. Now, the good thing about sort of bodybuilding training and looking to build muscle, you can be very, very flexible with your exercise selection. There's not just one move that you have to do for muscle growth. So again, you just have to sort of find the move that's not going to play you up. So instead of flat barbell bench pressing, you do like a high incline dumbbell press, which sort of alleviates the press on sort of the rotary cuff. Another good example is squatting. Not everyone can do perfect squats all the time for several reasons, knee issues, back issues. There's so many different ways to make your lower body grow, your quads and your hamstrings. You can do a split squat, for example. Dumbbell split squats are great. You could do single leg pressing, is great. You could do leg pressing. You can hammer the leg extension machine. They're all going to stimulate your quads to a certain extent. You may not get like the same stimulation from a squat, but you're still going to be working that muscle. So again, it's just about being very creative, changing your training around and working out what works for you personally. And like I always say to people, there is always a way to muscle growth. That's the one thing I've learned probably over this year. There's one way to muscle growth, and sort of this year I put on the most amount of muscle I have around these niggles just by changing exercise selection here and there, just being a bit creative with my designing of the program.
Just on a final note as well, if you do think, you know, you've got an injury coming up or a little niggling injury, I always say to my clients, if it doesn't feel right, just don't do it. Don't risk it. Don't make it worse. And try something else, like some of the stuff that Joe said, depending on what the exercise is, or just let us know as well. Give us a message if you've got like some sort of injury that's been playing you up, and we can give you some alternatives so you can work around it and carry on progressing.
So I hope that helps, guys. Any questions about progressing around sort of injuries, let us know and we will get back to you.